In a beautiful, gorgeous night in Iowa City, summer night in Iowa City, we are concluding 26 years on the air in this program, thanks to the leadership of John Karhoff and Mike Peterson, who you see here, doing the camera work. And we are so proud to have Garner School with us tonight.
Thank you.
Nick Proud, you are an old friend. First year you came to Iowa City to be the leader of the school. You came to visit us here. And it was a wonderful program in a new school in Iowa City. And I see tonight you have a very important guest with you, Amy Johnson.
Absolutely.
Who is a leader, a parent, and a leader in the community. And now we know what are you doing in your service to our kids and our community. We'll start with you, Nick, if you allow me to call
Absolutely.
you Nick. Yeah. Now, Garner School is a very successful school, young school, but full of energy and rigor. And what's new about Garner School this year?
Well, just a lot of exciting things going on. I mean, we're in our 7th year of existence. You kind of referenced that. We're one of the newer schools still. But interestingly enough, we're the largest of the Iowa City elementary schools. So we're a little over 600 and almost 630 kids this year. And we're welcoming currently 108 and counting new kindergarten students to us next year. So our enrollment continues to grow. Our school continues to grow as being part of North Liberty within the Iowa City schools. That's a growing community in and of itself. So we're looking at being well over 660 kids next year at Garner Elementary School, and we're really excited to welcome in a new class. And one thing that's kind of unique and exciting for us is, since we are in our 7th year, this is our group of 6th graders. This is their first group that's gone from kindergarten through 6th grade. So we're looking forward to having our promotion upcoming here in a few weeks and celebrating that as well. So it's just an exciting time around Garner.
One of the, as I remember, last year you talked with us a lot about diversity in the community too, and how the school is really successful in representing the diverse community in the area. Are you still keeping this tradition of emphasizing the importance of multiculturalism and
well, that's an emphasis really of the district at this point in time. We're really trying to, embrace the different communities.
With some parts that are more than others.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do think, that's something that everyone is trying to accomplish and really celebrate the uniquenesses that bring. I know it's interesting to hear as I talk to colleagues in other buildings, we don't have maybe the same number of languages that are spoken as other buildings, but some buildings have, a multitude of 20 plus languages spoke. So it's really great to celebrate those things and recognize all the different cultures that are a part of our school district and our schools.
As far as the difference in income for the families too, you have...
oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the unique things within all of our schools. When you talk about neighborhood schools, you're going to have a range of, homes and families.
But don't you think, Amy, that this constitutes a challenge when you have like over 600 in elementary school? And do you need expansions, and do you need to think a little bit bigger?
We do. So my children actually attend Garner Elementary in North Liberty as well. And I have my 5th grader is in a temporary facility, and he will be in a temporary facility for his 6th grade year as well. I think that the expansion is incredibly important. However, there's so many other things across the district that are so much more important than what Garner is experiencing. I will be the first and not only to tell you that you will never know that there are 630 children in that building when you walk in the door. Nick's team and his staff and the teachers do a really good job of creating an environment for kids that is very conducive to their learning, and you would assume there would be chaos, but there is not. And the only time you know that there are 630 kids is if there is an entire school event in the gym. That's the only way you'd never know it. So my kids they will benefit from an expansion, and it is needed. Temporaries are not a long-term solution. However, they're making do with what they have, and Garner's doing a really good job of ensuring that my kids are taken care of as well as all the kids that go there.
Well, the whole community, as a matter of fact, gives credit to the leadership of the school. I mean, there is no doubt that Mr. Proud has done a major effort in making the school one of the most successful ones in our
I would
district,
agree.
with such a big number, you know.
Thank you.
So thank you for all what you have done, but I think you need more, right? Now.
More
You
than-
need more support.
Well, and I think it's just one of those things. We're really I mean, I agree, as Amy mentioned too. I mean, it's never a fun choice having students need to be in modular classrooms. We don't believe that the space itself defines what the learning can go on or
Right.
the great teaching that can go on. But there's differences, and I think that's something as a growing community, as North Liberty continues to grow, as the Iowa City area continues to grow, and as our school continues to be large, that's just something that we need to look at and hopefully help him. And the nice part about all of this conversation is more than just Garner Elementary benefiting. It's something that's going to benefit so many kids across the district. Thousands and thousands of kids will benefit from this for many years to come.
So let's. I know that the district has plans, and we call it strategic plan, right? Can you just give me a little background for people who are not familiar
Yeah.
with the word strategic plan?
So
What it means?
in 2013, in December of 2013, the school board approved the facilities master plan, and that was the master plan that lots of people in the community participated on that entire year in 2013, and this was to determine what improvements need to be made across the district, what new schools needed to be built. It a lot talked about boundaries. Some school closures were discussed, and this was a large community event. There was several listening posts throughout the district, and then there was one big event at the Hotel Vitro where several thousand people attended to participate in designing and creating the facilities master plan. The facilities master plan really laid out the 10-year plan for getting all of the work done across the district that needed to be done in terms of the facilities. So the first part of the plan, so I think it's 13 projects, were either completed or in the process of being completed and were paid for by funds that the district had on hand and could pay for within their own resources. At the time of that facilities master plan, when it was approved, it was always known that in 2017 we were going to have to pass a bond to get the remaining projects completed. Now I can remember way back in 2013 what a long time 2017 felt like, but yet here we are. So we are down to our last projects that need to be completed across the district. The facilities master plan has a project that will touch every school in the district. There will be improvements made everywhere. New schools will also be built with these funds, as well as athletic facilities as part of that funding.
And we are here actually waiting for the people to vote for this general obligation bond referendum.
Correct.
And that would be September 12th,
Yes.
where the voters or our electors will either approve or not approve this. So let us here talk about. We had in a previous program we had Dwayne talking to us about the importance of how this is going to increase the chances and the facilities and the physical plant and everything that has to do with improving progress of educational system in our community.
Correct.
However, we have to put the possibility of failure too, that if we fail, that would have consequences.
Correct.
So can you just sum up for our viewers what will happen if we don't vote yes on September 12th?
I can do that. The bond has to pass by 60% plus one vote. If it does not pass, then the district cannot put it back up for vote for 6 months. So the immediate implication of the bond not passing would be that all projects that are scheduled will stop. So it will be a full stop, and then we will have to regroup, and the district will have to regroup to determine what the best way to go forward is with that is, if we stop, so all the projects that are laid out right now have been bid and they've been scoped. If the bond does not pass, we have to wait 6 months to represent the bond for vote if that's what the district chooses to do.
And everything will be up.
And everything, so this is what will happen. An additional $20 million will have to be added to the bond to cover the cost of the construction reorganization that has to occur. So all of these projects are scheduled and they've been bid and scoped, as I mentioned. With that full stoppage that will happen, then everything will have to be shifted. There's something called construction inflation that will occur, and it will add an additional $20 million to the bond referendum if we have to try to do it again 6 months after its failure.
Well, Mr. Proud, before we met on the set today, he explained to me that you are one of the very knowledgeable people about the general obligation bond referendum issue, and that you will shed a lot of light on this particular area. Now, what I know is that the Board of Education 2 weeks ago had approved the language of the proposal that is supposed to be accepted by our voters here. So they have a website for people to sign a petition. And I think you mentioned to me that there is a number that we need to have our audience that are listening to us now.
Correct.
Go to this website and say, yes, I approve this language, because this is the only way this referendum is going to be put on the ballot.
Correct.
On September 12th.
Correct. In order to get the language on the voting ballot for September 12th, we have to have a certain number of signers to a petition to say, yes, I approve the language to be added. That number is a percentage of the amount of people that voted in the last school board election. The district would like to secure about 4,000 signatures. That is over the amount needed, but that is to kind of curtail any duplications that occur, because we have several people out who are collecting signatures, as well as the website where you can collect your signature also.
Do you have a deadline for this? I mean, the people should sign and there is a certain date they cannot sign after?
Yes, so the petition will be available until mid-June, and we have to turn it into the county in the June timeframe. So it will be up for about 4 or 5 more weeks, I think. So then we'll be able to turn those in. But we are collecting signatures. Not only is the district collecting them on the website, we have been having a station available at the farmers market both on Wednesday and Saturdays, where people can come and sign the petition and get more information about the bond, and talk to people who can give them information about the bond.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, because everybody in town goes to the market. You know.
Popular event.
Yeah, that's important. So from what I understand, that you have a main role there. What's your role on the committee?
So I am one of several chair people who are chairing the committee. This One Community, One Bond group that I'm part of we are a separate organization from the district, but we are working with the district to get out the vote for the bond. We are a nonprofit organization, so we run purely by donation to get information out and going to every school, every community member, various places out in the community where we're trying to get the message out to get people to vote. Right now we're focusing on schools. We're trying to get to all the schools before school gets out, because then, you know, we have that lull of summertime, and then when school is back in session, then we only have like 2 or 3 weeks before the bond vote happens. So we're trying to get to every school right now before everybody gets out, so we can touch as many parents and families as we can. And then over the summer, we'll be spending the summertime really getting out into the community, working in our own individual neighborhoods, as well as places like the farmers market, you know, town parades, things like that, where we can get that message out and get information out to people so that they can vote.
One of the concerns of our viewers here, at least people who talk to us and send us some emails, they know that we are going to discuss this tonight. One of the main concerns is the graying of our community here, and that a lot of people are skeptic about this, especially people my age and above, who don't have really kids in schools. And they feel that this will increase their taxes while their income is fixed. A lot of them retired and they don't have the increments or the increase that goes with the inflation.
Right.
So how can we convince them to go and be positive about this?
So one thing, first, there's economic value in improving our schools. So when a new business or a new when a new business or a new entrepreneurship wants to come into town, the first thing they investigate is what our schools are like. And if we have facilities that are old and dilapidated, don't have air conditioning, it would be hard for that business to come into a particular area because they want to get employees who probably have families who are going to have kids that go to these schools. So it's important that they understand that our economic growth is somewhat dependent on getting these schools updated and getting them up to speed. The other component to that is that the amount that they're going to pay on their taxes is really very minimal. And over the course of the period of the payoff of the bond, they will actually be paying less in the future than they are right now. So the amount will go down. This year alone in 2017, the district is going to be paying off some previous debt. So the initial bond amount is $1.96 per $1,000 assessed on your home. The district will be pulling off 53 cents because they're paying off some old debt that's going to come off right now, so that further reduces it. There's also some other monies that the district is going to be able to apportion so that it will further reduce it, and so we'll be down to 98 cents per $100,000 or per $1,000 of assessed value on your home. And so right now, and that has no growth dependencies allowed on it. So as the community grows, you have a bigger pool of people to get your tax dollars, or the district has to get their money from, which means that everybody's rate goes down because there's a larger amount of people to pull from. So as we grow, and I believe our district grows at an average rate of 4% each year, and so as the growth continues, the dollar amount will continue to go down because we'll have more people to get from. So
well, I just want to make sure that our viewers know that you are bringing all this from top of your head. You don't have notes.
I don't have notes.
You're not looking at slides or PowerPoint. It's just
and all of this information is available at passthebond.com and also on the school district's website. And so there's lots of tax information.
Again, what is the website that people can go to?
So the website they can get information from is www.passthebond.com, and it should be displayed, and they can go there, get information. They can link to the school's website in order to get additional information, but there's lots of tax information, lots of information about voting.
I think John already added it to our screen, so that was very good.
Good. Yeah. So yes, there's lots of information out there, and you can go to that website, and if you want more information, you can request to have somebody come out and talk to your community or your group or your neighborhood, and we'll come out and talk to you.
Well, that's really great. So back to Mr. Proud.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know that there is a new school that's going to be built very close to you.
Yes.
And I know that you are going to acquire a piece of land. I'm a journalist, of course, so I have my eyes everywhere. So you are going to have this part is going to be added to your school, right? Well, can you give me the right expression here about what you are going to get?
Well, there's actually, the district already has one piece of land, and that's where, if you look at the facility master plan, if the bond were to pass, there's one, it's to the north, the very north. It'd actually be the most northernmost school in the district, which would be across from the South Slope building that's up there in North Liberty. They actually own a portion of land, and that piece of land's ready to go, and actually it's because it has all the infrastructure needed to be able to put a school on it shortly thereafter. The benefit it would have for Garner in particular is that's near a number of our neighborhoods and would help kind of with our issue as we continue to grow. That would be something that some of our students would go there. for some of our families, it's actually a little closer than Garner, so that would be nice, as the district always wants to try to have that walkability, reduce those busing
Definitely,
costs.
safety.
Yeah, and they've embraced neighborhood schools, so that would be a neighborhood school. It would provide benefit to Garner, also to Penn, and some others, depending on where those boundary lines are drawn.
A lot of
eventually.
people are envying you for that, by the way.
Well, I have nothing to do. I have nothing to do with that school. And then actually, the other piece of land, I don't know if that's what you were noticing, but they are, finalizing some details and working through the purchase of another piece of land.
Yes,
that's near the high school,
Yeah.
and that would also then have a positive impact because that area is going to grow, as you know. That beautiful high school is being built, and part of the bond is also the the athletic fields and those extracurricular activities, and then eventually in addition on to Liberty High School. You can only imagine the housing that's going to go up around there and just cause growth. So that elementary school will be needed in time. Right now, the one that's on the current facilities master plan is to help where families already are. As you look at our North Liberty schools, Garner and Penn and Van Allen, and we serve nearly 1,700 kids between the three of us. I mean, that's a lot of kids and a lot of families. So,
Amy, because we have a couple more minutes remained, I would like you to look at this camera where Mr. Peterson is and talk to our community about what you need from the community to support your mission.
Okay. So what we need from our community is we need your voice and your talent and your time and maybe a little bit of your money. So right now we are collecting funds to help the organization provide pamphlets and leaflets and information. We are also collecting volunteers. Over the summer we're going to need a lot of help getting this information out and getting the information out on when and where to vote, as well as what the bond can do for each area of our community. So one thing we will always need is volunteers. We also need your help in just talking to your neighbors and your friends and your family. Get all the information that you can about how the bond is going to benefit your area, your community, your neighborhood, and also get the information on where the bond is going to benefit your family members and friends that live across the district, because the needs of you may be different than the needs of the people that you know and love across town. Understand what they are going to benefit from and what their community and their neighborhood is going to benefit with the bond, so that you can talk to them and educate them about why it's so important to vote on September 12th.
That's excellent. Is there anything you want to add? We have 2 minutes for you, Mr. Proud. We are always proud of you anyway.
Oh, thank you. Well, and I just would reiterate some of Amy's comments. I mean, I think it's just such an important thing to invest in our community, invest in our kids. We always want to put kids first, and that's something, as we talk at Garner Elementary, we want the finest and greatest best for our kids, and that's the case it should be for all the kids across the Iowa City schools, and this bond is something that would really be beneficial for our families and for the kids, and we just want to make sure that folks are getting out and voting on September 12th.
And do you need a lot of volunteers? How many?
We're trying to assess that right now, but we're getting a pretty good response so far. So if you go to the website, thepassthebond.com, you can sign up to be a volunteer, and we'll have lots of jobs, because we're going to do the old-fashioned door knocking this summer and get the information out, as well as some phone calls, community events, things of that nature where we'll need people's help.
Okay. Last question has to do with my own emphasis on art in the district, and I know that the bond issue used this as a very important part of the whole expansion and progress in many schools. Art rooms will be built, music rooms will be built. How do you feel about that?
I think it's wonderful. I think having dedicated art and music rooms in all of our schools is going to help provide an area where kids can learn and grow and be creative in those spaces. In some cases, some schools don't even have dedicated rooms for that at all, no matter how big and small.
You're right.
There is such a thing as art on a cart, and that is where they would put art supplies on a cart and wheel them around to the room, because there was no dedicated space or is no dedicated space. And so passing this bond will be a great benefit to the arts community and the arts to our children across the district.
And we are so happy that we have parents like Amy.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is a treasure in our community, because without your efforts, if we just rely on our staff and our administrators, we probably will not be as convincing as you are, because you are in the trenches. You sit with your kids around the lunch, the dinner table, and talk about their needs. So you are not doing this because you're going to get a promotion or
Right.
you're going to get a raise as a teacher. But you're doing this because you love the community and you want to give as much as you take.
That is correct.
That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Now I can't tell you how we're delighted to have you, Mr. Proud, and how delighted that you introduced Amy Johnson to us tonight. And we wish you all the luck and all the best achievements.
Thank you.
This program will be on Channel 18. That's the public access TV channel. On Channel 21, that's the education channel. We are with them, but we are not part of the education system. We are kind of quasi collaborator with them. But we love them so much. That's why we volunteer our time, John Karhoff and Mike Peterson and I, to help as much as we can. And thanks to Public Access TV, they host us, they give us all this facility, they give us new equipments and everything, so we can speak better now and the people can see us better. We're not as blurred as we used to be, or pantomime as we used to be sometime. So, and we are on YouTube. We have a channel on YouTube, so you can ask your kids and your volunteers to watch us tonight, this program in particular, tonight, maximally tomorrow evening. We'll be there on YouTube. And we are on the website of Public Access TV on the computer. So everywhere you can find us. If you have high definition TV, we are on the 800 numbers. That's of course for the people who pay more money to Mrs. Mediacom. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
For our viewers, we are so proud of you. And we are so proud of you, Mr. Nick Proud. And thank you again, Miss Johnson, very much. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.